Hi everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. And so today we are going to design a Bible study journal in Notion. And so we will start by opening up a new page. Then we will click on the settings. We will small and then make sure that our page is full width. Then we will turn off the page discussions to add more space to the page. We will then add an icon, so you can choose any icon that you want. I just chose to go with the flower icon. You can also change the color of your icon. So I chose to go with color purple, but there are so many other colors I've made available by Notion, so you can choose that. You'll then add a cover, so you can choose your cover from the gallery of Notion, or you can upload your own cover by which you have already designed or link it, or you can choose from the Unsplash library. So I chose to go with the with a cover made available in Unsplash. So I chose one that showed that I was journaling, and so that's the one I chose. We will then reposition our cover to suit the way that we want it to appear. So we will then save our cover. Next, we will name our page. So we are naming this a Bible study journal. Then underneath it, we will open up a new database, which is a calendar view database. So we will write calendar view, and we will create a new calendar or a new blank database. Next, we will create a template that we will be using to create our journaling pages, so that we don't have to create them from scratch by clicking on the new template. Then we are going to give a title to our template, like for example, study on James chapter 1. We'll then remove the tags property because we do not need it. Then we will add the property of select to add all the categories that we want available in our study journal. So it could be a YouTube sermon, it can be a chapter study, it can also be a topic study. Maybe you're researching on a specific topic, you can include that category in there, or something that you were studying on. Just add as many categories as you want, like I did. Then we will rearrange them according to how we want them to appear. We'll then add a new property of the checkbox so that we might click it when we are done with the study. We will then remove the comments because we will not be commenting on this page, and when we'll click to apply to all pages, decided to remove the title of the page because it is a template, so that I can start afresh. We will then add 2 new columns by clicking /2 columns, and in the first column we will add a call out. So in this call out we will give it a name. We will call it a key scripture space. So this is where we will be placing our key scripture. We will highlight it so that it can be bold. We'll then duplicate it and rename the second call out the reference scriptures. So this is where we will be putting all the other scriptures that we have used in the study. Then we will duplicate it again and add a section for our prayer points. So maybe there are some prayers that arose from the text. This is where you add. So in the second column, we will add a toggle list. So in this toggle list, we will give it a name and we will write lessons learned from the text. So definitely when you're studying, you need that place so that you can add all the lessons that you've learned. Then we are going to color it. You can give it any color that you want. I chose to go with the orange background. We will then add a divider underneath it and duplicate it. And then in the next duplicated toggle list, we will name it attributes of God found in the text. Then we will add, you can change its color so that it can be different. So like they should not look alike. To give that distinction, we will then add a divider underneath it, and we will continue with this process of duplicating and adding a divider and adding all the areas that we want to add to the second column. So it could be your method of Bible study can be the Acts. Whatever your method of Bible study is, this is where you add it in the second column. So as for me, this is what I use. I use the lessons I've learned, what attributes of God I've learned from the text. And then I also add things like the message that the Lord is trying to pass on to me. I also add, for example, if there are any questions arising from the text, I add all those things. And you can change the colors of your toggle list so that it can look presentable if you want to, but I just chose to go with just two colors. Then underneath that, we are going to add a heading and name that corner the resources corner. So in this corner, this is where I add all the resources or other things that I want to add on the topic. So for example, YouTube videos, books that I need to study. So for example, if I was studying an area and I need more resources, so that is where I add them. So then we are going to go back to the main page, click on the icon on top, then we are going to set our page, the one that we have already made the template as the default. So now anytime someone clicks on that page, it comes with all the details that we have already added to the template. So now we don't have to start from scratch. We are now going to name our calendar view and we will call it a Bible study journal. So now then we will hide the database data so that it can look presentable. We'll then add a new view and we will add a gallery view so that it can look, it will be easier for us to view it. So we will change the settings on from showing nothing, like we don't want too much details, and then we will filter on the things that we want shown on the gallery view. So for example, mine, I had to choose the date format. I then filtered it to the date and to this date because I want to be doing it daily, and I sorted it to done. The reason I did that is so that because I always arrange my studies earlier so that I can know when I'm done with it or when I'm not done with it. Then next we are going to click on the template so that I can show you how it will look like. So this is how it will look like, and you can edit it. So like for example, say I'm studying on James chapter 1, and let's say I'm studying that on date 20. No, let's go back and put it on today's date. Then the categories, maybe let's say it's a chapter study, a key scripture, let's say it's James chapter 1, because that is where we are studying. Maybe our reference scripture for this is Psalms, maybe chapter 105, verse 19. Then maybe the prayers that I have from that text is, God, help me. Then the lessons that I've learned from the text, this is where I highlight them. I will put something like, I should love people. Then the attributes of God, this is where I add them. So we can say He is a loving God. And then let's say maybe the message that God is trying to pass across through the text to me is, I should love people more. So let's write that. Should love people. Yeah, it's maybe I don't have questions from the text, so I can leave that blank. And so because what we were studying on is on love, so I can add resources. So for example, I'll go to my Chrome and I'll search loving people on it. It's just an example. You can add a resource, any resource that you want. So for example, let's say I want this book by Dr. John. So I'll just copy the link, then I'll go back to my Notion and paste the link as a URL, and done. So now when I click it, it will take me directly to where that book is. You can also choose to, instead of adding it as a URL, you can choose to embed it. So you just click the link and then click embed, and it will bring you the photo or the video directly. So now you don't have to, if you want it to have the pictures and the themes, you can absolutely do that and resize it to how you want it. Yeah, so that is how the, so when, let's say I have clicked on it, done, so now it will show up on my gallery view. So I can choose to add an icon if I want to. Let's say I add a tick, so now you can see it is showing up because I had filtered it with the things that I have done. So even when you go back to your calendar view, you get to see that on this date I did this study. So now on your calendar view, you will get to see all the Bible study that you've done. So that is the end of it. And if you want to purchase this template, you can actually do it. The link is in the description below, and you can get your own template. I hope this was a blessing to you. Bye bye.